I mean, it was so bad you can't even joke to them about it, can you?
Well, just do this.
All right, let's do it. You ready? You ready, Tester?
Yeah.
Gregor, turn that phone around. It's a better view that way. Oh, that's way better. All right, you ready?
Well, it keeps going back the other way.
Lock it, or can you?
Well,
If you can't, just leave it like that. It don't hurt me.
can you see me?
You're crookeder than a dog's hind leg now. There you
All right,
go.
there we go.
Hi, I'm Melinda Krieger with True Point Bank. Cheering on local teams is a community tradition at True Point Bank. We are a local bank supporting our local schools, charities, and people. If you aren't banking locally, it's time to make the switch. Stop by one of our offices or visit us online at truepointbank.com. This football season, have pride in our local teams and bank local with True Point Bank. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Graham is back in the finals again. Holston and Abingdon season comes to a tragic end. All that and more on today's episode 4.13. After the whistle, I'm your host, Brian Moore, with Greg Tester and Tommy Krieger. Gentlemen, welcome. How's everybody doing today?
Good, well, it's doing good, but doing it on this right here, it looks like you're Chinese or something. Like we're watching one of them Jackie Chan movies.
We may be having some sort of unstable connection.
What's all about?
Oh, Lord. There you go, Jackie Chan. All right, well, let's get straight to it. First of all, we're going to mention there's Fred Phillips. I'd like to say hello to Fred Phillips. How you doing, Coach?
He don't want to be on camera.
All right, we'd like to mention our sponsors real quick: Buchanan Therapy Services, True Point Bank, Southern Gap Outdoor Adventures, Grundy Auto Sales, the Patriot Outpost, Buchanan General Hospital, and, of course, Bellacino's in Grundy, Virginia. Thank them for this year and sponsoring our show. Let's get straight to it. Last week's recap, fellas. First game we've got here on the list is Abingdon and Liberty Christian. Liberty Christian 56, Abingdon 13. I got a bunch of stats here, but I'll get your guys' input here real quick. So go ahead.
That's what we all picked, wasn't it?
Yeah, across the board.
But, I mean, we knew, with the private school, it don't shock. You got the number one lineman in the country, supposedly. It is what it is. Playing a private school
Abingdon
like that. Huh?
I said, actually, we picked Abingdon, but, I think we knew what was going to happen.
Yeah, I picked Abingdon because I said something about Mountain West was going to. But, that goes, so what
Mountain
you should
7.
do, Mountain 7. You should just start your own private school and have football. Mount Mission should have a football team.
Well, they've got the speed down there, that's for sure.
Yeah,
Just,
and then you get the linemen from the area, from Buchanan, from the county.
There you go.
I mean, I don't know. It's just kind of unfair, I guess. But if
I know one thing.
pennies and nuts.
Put up 56 points on Abingdon, and you're pretty daggone good.
Yeah, that's what I was getting ready to ask you. I mean, you've seen them this year multiple times, whether you're scouting them or playing against them, and anybody can put up 56 points on Abingdon's got to be pretty daggone tough.
Absolutely.
Not only that, I mean, they held Abingdon 13 points.
Yeah, I didn't think it would be that lopsided, you know.
Well, I know one thing. They didn't bet the under.
That's a pretty good one right there. I like it.
Hey, look here.
That's you right there, up and down. Liberty Christian Academy had 455 yards of total offense. They got 3 touchdowns from that Belford kid. I think that's the one that got the invite to
Belfry. Is that kin to Kevin Short's dad?
No clue.
You know Belfry?
Jalen Belford. He had 3 touchdowns. Their LCA's. Here's the thing that's getting me. LCA is going to turn around now. They're going to play Phoebus, the Phoebus Phantoms here for the state title. They're going, and it's, you know, they had nothing to do with this, but the state titles game is going to be played at Williams Stadium in Lynchburg at Liberty, which is also the home field of Liberty Christian Academy. I mean, you had no way of knowing at the beginning of the season they was going to play there in the finals, but still, that's
they did.
That's pretty.
I protest that.
Phoebus is going into hostile territory, and you know Liberty's going to be sitting there. I mean, with a major home field advantage, not considering the fact that they're well stacked ball club.
Boys, it don't matter. You got to beat them.
Well, we're going to recap this game here. Abingdon finished season 12-2, best record school history, tied it. They won the region first time since 1979. Took the ball.
I got to say about that. Sam McKinney was not the quarterback there. He was the quarterback in 77, I think, or 78. In 79, another Emory guy, Chip Thayer, was the quarterback of that team.
Oh, okay. So it wasn't Sam.
No,
Sam was there, just not that team.
No, Sam had graduated.
Oh, okay. Abingdon drove the ball all the way down the 10-yard line first possession, and the drive fizzled out. And that was about the highlight of the game for Abingdon after that. I think it was just a handful of plays. Belford kid ended up with 125 yards on 5 carries. That's 25 yards a carry versus Abingdon. That tells you quite a bit. The Lambert kid for Abingdon was
country. You probably got 4 good ones to go with him.
Oh yeah, yep. Lambert kid for Abingdon was 11-24 for 144 yards passing. But I mean, it was 28-7 at the half. The game was, I mean, Abingdon scored, I think it was 21-7. Abingdon were down 21-0. They got a touchdown. And then they fell behind 28-7 at half. And then the third quarter, LCA scored 28 points in the third quarter. And the ball game was pretty much over after that. The Hounsell kid had 128 yards rushing. I think all but about 18 yards of Abingdon's offense, a rushing game, was the Hounsell kid. Abingdon just, I mean, as good as Abingdon is and as well-rounded as Coach Tester says they are, I mean, they ran into a daggone beast.
But are they that good?
The Hounsell kid she was talking about there, I seen the quote he had in the paper. He said, you know, we're pretty fast, but they were a lot faster. I think it was one of his quotes.
Well, you know, I mean, you got to take your hat off to Abingdon, though. I mean, what they've accomplished.
I seen the quote on there one. They said, boys, we played in the Mountain 7 and said that this is ridiculous. Like, I mean, they didn't know. They said the LCA or they could play in the Mountain 7.
Could they?
Yeah.
They're good enough to play in the Mountain 7, I reckon. Yep. I wonder where they'd have finished.
Third or fourth.
Third or fourth, no doubt about it, I reckon. Well, Abingdon didn't, they didn't accomplish what they wanted to, I guess, in the end. But, I mean, they ran into a beast of a team. We've already talked about some of the questionable things that people are saying about LCA even playing in this game.
I mean, and don't get us wrong. I mean, we're just saying that they get the best. We ain't taking nothing away from the kids. The kids can't help it.
Absolutely not.
I mean, the kids are going out there to play, but they get the best.
Yeah. I mean, do they have, and you can ask this question, this rhetorical question, but do they have an advantage being a private school? And, I don't have to say anything. I know, what I'm thinking, and I know what you're thinking.
What do you mean historical? Does that mean they
rhetorical?
Historical.
How do we get a kid to? How do they get kids to play at that school? Do you got to be on a waiting list?
Well, I mean, you could have took your kid up there.
You got to pay.
Oh yeah, I mean it's private.
Yeah.
It's a private school. You got to pay to go.
So
I bet you that lineman's not paying.
So
interesting.
But the athletes don't pay.
Yeah, well,
pays.
We're giving.
Abingdon did a good job of honoring, the legacy of Coach Ratcliffe. I think he'd have been very proud of this team. Of course, he passed away earlier at the beginning. So I think that Abingdon doesn't have anything to be ashamed of this performance.
No, a great season.
Yeah, great season. And
this side of Roanoke.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. This half of the state. With the exception of the teams in the Mountain 7.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, okay. That was the next game. I was going to go about. You going to talk about the Abingdon game or move ahead?
No, I was just go ahead. You're good.
Okay. All right. Next game up, we had Galax 51.
The Hoagie Heagie Killer.
Yeah, that's 2 years in a row they've got Holston.
Hoagie Heagie Killer, boys. They just got. I mean, it seems like Galax plays in the Mountain 7 to me.
I don't know if they're that good or not.
No, they couldn't be in the Mountain 7.
Yeah,
I'd put them at number 3.
Number 3 in the Mountain 7. That means they'd almost win the BDD, then, wouldn't it?
Almost.
Almost. Well, things started out pretty good for Holston. That Johson kid had a 90-some yard touchdown kickoff return. And they started the game off right. And, buddy, from that point on, it was all Galax. I think Galax tied the game up on a 76-yard touchdown run just a few minutes later on their very first possession. And then that was pretty much the end of it. Holston finishes the season 13-1, best record in school history, back-to-back Hoagie champs, back-to-back Region D champs. But 0-4 in state semis.
Back-to-back Hoagie Heagie Killer.
But seems like Galax always,
just lying.
They're the Region D killers. Seems like Region D can't get past Galax. So
Mark Dixon started something nice up there when he got there.
Yeah, and it's obvious that they're continuing with it.
Yeah.
It's not just speed. They seem to be do well in the trenches consistently year in and year out with developing linemen.
Well, here's my next question. Can they beat the Region C killer?
No.
And Riverheads, we'll get into that in a little bit.
Riverheads beat Lower Botetourt by 50.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
And the Mountain 7 champ barely beat Botetourt.
Enough said.
There you go.
The Ashworth kid for Galax weighs every bit of about 170 pounds. I think he had like 128 yards rushing, 3 touchdowns, even caught a pass for 19 or 20 yards. He threw a touchdown pass, and he returned an interception for a touchdown. So now he was everywhere on both sides of the ball to lead Galax back. But I think it was like 10 and a half minutes. Listen to this stat. There was like 10 or 11 minutes to go in the first half, and Holston was trailing 23-7. So 10 minutes, we'll just say 11 minutes to go in the first half, trailing 23-7, and they hadn't given up more than 16 points in a game all year. And it wasn't even halftime, and they were down 23-7. So that tells you, Galax was better than advertised, or was Holston that good?
We may need to start covering Region C a little bit more.
I think we do. I think we need to. I thought about that myself today. Maybe we need to start throwing Region C in there with it.
Yeah, that's true.
Holston finished the game. By the way, but let me go back to that scoring thing. Holston gave up 37 points eventually in the first half. Like I said, that's 21 points more than they had given up in any game all year. Holston had 173 yards of offense, and 90 yards of that came against Galax's seconds. So, I hate that for Holston, but Galax proved to be
Fuzz.
Fuzz.
He said Graham's going to win it.
Is Fuzz double masked? Is Fuzz double masked?
No.
Well, tell him he is violating Tony Bush protocol.
Yes, you're violating Tony Bush protocol, not double mask.
Second one on under.
He's got he is. Got one on under.
Good for him. So Holston season comes to an end. Historic season for them, 13-1. Coach Akers did a heck of a job getting that bunch ready and getting the most out of
But
them.
again, Coach Patterson had the foundation ready.
Oh, yeah. Well, Holston loses 5 seniors off of this team, so I think they're going to have the foundation still in place to do really well next year. And once again, just same scenario with Abingdon. 2 Washington County teams come up short, but they've got nothing to be ashamed of. But did a heck of a job over there. All right, let's take a look at our last game here, and this is the one that did work out well for Southwest Virginia. Graham 42, Appomattox 28, and I'll let you guys start out on this.
Only thing I get out of it is that coach got some cojones, buddy. Why kick the Bradshaw?
Twice.
They was trying to kick it. They was trying to kick it in the end zone and got it at the 1 and at the 2. I'd have kicked that up in the stands.
I agree with you on that. Even Coach Smith mentioned it in the newspaper. It probably wasn't a good coaching decision to do that, but going into that game, that would have been completely off the option.
Yeah,
off the table for me, you guys.
I didn't see that, but did they try to kick it deep in the end zone and he got it about the 1?
What I felt like they were doing was trying to kick it in the end zone and it wasn't making it.
Yeah. Well, that could have been what happened, but they didn't just do it once, Coach. They did it twice, and he ran both of them back.
And buddy, you don't give a guy like that a chance in open space like that.
Now, well, I don't know about you guys, but if I do it one time, I ain't doing it the second time. Bradshaw had over 300 all-purpose yards for the whole game. So, I mean,
Graham really didn't touch the ball offensively till about the second quarter.
Yeah.
I think Blevins got hurt and went out.
I don't know about that. I know he didn't. I don't think he spent any time on defense. We'll talk about that here a little bit later on. But
I clicked over there, on the NFHS, and the thing I noticed, Graham's offensive line was really blowing them off the ball. They had some huge hoses to run through, and you don't have to give Bradshaw much. And then Blevins and I think the Clements guy was just run through huge hose and just blowing them off the ball. And when I seen that, I knew it was going to be a long day for Appomattox.
Well, I'm not saying that the coach from Coach Smith from Appomattox, I'm not saying he was making excuses, but he alluded to the fact that, that he had one lineman that had 2 torn labrums. He had one that was 170 pounds. He had one that he said played everything but quarterback. But he did mention the fact that how huge Graham was. I got some sizes here I'm going to run down in a minute.
Average 60, 70 points a game with them labor tours.
Yeah. Yeah. Graham's going to move on. They're going to face King William in the finals. But a little bit more about the game. They were up 21-14 at halftime. Graham was. And then start the third quarter, Appomattox decides to kick off, and they kick deep to Bradshaw, takes it to the house. It's 28-14, just like that. I think it was but that wasn't the end of the ball game. Appomattox got some more.
Now Labriums and stuff started hurting a little worse.
You reckon? Well, they did come back. I mean, King William got some momentum. Appomattox got some momentum. They came back, tied the game at 28, and then turned around and kicked to Bradshaw again.
Here's the deal: if I'm the coach, that kicker's going to be on the bench. He ain't going back in.
Well,
if he kicked to him the first time.
Well, you reckon he was told to kick to him again?
Well,
I think the way it sounded, they were trying to kick it in the end zone.
Yeah. That's what I speculated early on.
Or that's what I'd say anyway.
Yeah. I would say that. I agree with you.
Well, you know how that goes, man. We've been in that situation before. Hey, we've coached up, do not kick it to here, okay? And as soon as they kick it, where does it go?
I did it my whole 10 years. Hey, Bulls, Montcalm, we kicked to them 6 times. They run all 6 back. Drake, I was like, Drake, set the tee sideways.
Kick it out of bounds.
But we won 41-40.
That's all that matters. That's all that matters. So Graham gets that touchdown, 35-28. And with about 4.5 minutes to go in the game, Bradshaw ices it with a 10-yard run, and Graham, takes the lead. But we talk about Bradshaw, which is, I mean, this kid's got 12, 13 offers from different colleges. He's weighs about $160 or something like that. I mean, he's everywhere on the field. But the Clements kid had a heck of a game, 170-some yards rushing. 2 touchdowns on 23 carries. I mean, he was solid.
But Bradshaw's the key.
Yeah, well, I think Blevins is a big role player, but, him not being as mobile.
I think Blevins is the key.
Oh, but at the same time, they beat a darn good football team, and Blevins is not 100%.
Listen, Graham has been – I mean, they beat Mountain 7 teams. They ain't no better than Mountain 7. Appo would be probably 5th.
Go. You said it.
Yeah, they dipped in that Mountain 7. Krieger called it. What this tells me, and you can't take the Bradshaw.
Game's getting ready to start. We're gonna have to speed up.
Okay, so you could probably give Bradshaw the ball against the defense. He's gonna get yards, but Graham's
not against the Mountain 7.
Graham's offensive line, with the Clements kid and Bradshaw and Blevins when he runs the ball. Graham's offensive line needs a shout out. All right, Krieger, your sound is a little bit too loud. Did you hear me, Krieger?
Go sit down a second till we finish this, man.
I can't referees are in there.
Oh. Listen to this bunch. Graham's defensive line, I want to give them a shout out here. Connor Roberts, 255. Murray Hill, 250. Cody Dolan, 230. Brody Meadows, 330. And all of those kids are 6'1" or bigger. Okay. They made life pretty rough for Appo. And they made Appo do stuff that they did not want to do. They didn't want to pass the ball, and they had to. Graham advances. They're going to play King William 42-28.
Didn't Graham play King William in 95 for the state championship? Or was that King George?
Sure. King George.
One of them Kings.
That's who we defeated in the Revolutionary War.
But
King Williams who got us at Honaker.
Well, one of them Kings played Graham. See, Graham won the state championship in 95. They only lost 1 game, and I don't know who it was to.
I remember that game. All right, so that does it for a recap. Real quick, so Graham advances to the state finals, and congratulations to Abingdon and Holston on great seasons. Up next, our peak performer of the week is Mr. Xavier Turner Bradshaw, the Graham G-Men 300 all-purpose yards versus Appomattox lead Graham to the state finals. So congratulations to Xavier Turner Bradshaw being our 2 Point Bank peak performer of the week. All right, real quick, Coach Tester. Coach Krieger, just get a couple comments on you guys. A couple of things. Big Call Southern Gap Outdoor Adventures sponsors this segment. Belfry won their another state championship. Coach Haywood got one down in Kentucky after starting 0-5. And Coach Matney, Coach Jim Matney, passed away earlier this year from COVID. His Johson Central team lost in the state finals.
Belfry was down this year and started 0-5 and won a state championship.
Yeah, and people were calling for Coach Haywood's head after everything he's done, and just wanted to kind of mention that because most of the people listening to this show aren't familiar with anything on the other side of the state line. But Belfry has a powerhouse of a program, and I advise you to go on YouTube or something, take a look at some of the stuff that they've done down there. But Coach Haywood has another state title. And Coach Matney's team at Johson Central managed to get to the finals. Unfortunately, they lost, but that's a tribute to everything that he had set up there with them at Johson Central. Any comments on that real quick? Do what, Coach?
So also Pikeville won a state title.
Yeah,
Pikeville won a state championship as well.
Yeah, it was a lot closer, too. It's a pretty close game. I understand it was a pretty good one.
One of the teams down there, or Pikeville had a 30-27 lead. Team was driving on the 15-yard line, and 2nd and 2, 3rd and 2, dropped back and threw the ball and got like a 15-yard sack. Ball game.
Yeah.
Well, so hats off to those teams as well for locally, doing really well. Last thing here on Big Talk, just wanted to mention season's over with. There are going to be some new coaches hired, but the one everybody's looking at is at Honaker, and I myself have heard all kinds of names thrown out there. You guys want to throw any names in the hat to tell people to look for?
Corey Boston, Matt Jesse.
Matt Jesse, I think, is a viable candidate. Corey Boston, I spoke with him. He told me to quell those rumors, is what he told me to do.
But to confirm that Matt Jesse wasn't going to take it.
That's what they all say.
You've heard that Matt Jesse, is
not going to take it.
Okay. Well, there's a lot of Honaker assistants that can be thrown in there, but this is a job that looks good for a lot of people on the outside. And the one thing that I've heard a lot of people say, and this is no knock on Russell County, but leaving just about any county in the state of Virginia to go to Russell County, you're going to have to take a pay cut if you do it. And a lot of people aren't willing to do that.
We might have to have a special meeting or a special show in about a couple months. There might be something in the works that we could break the news.
That'd be good. That'd be good. All right. We'd like to hear if you've got any ideas, put in the comments section there. Let us know who you think the next football coach at Honaker will be. All right.
Good morning, America. I'm Charles.
That is the World Trade Center, and we have unconfirmed reports this morning that a plane has crashed into one of the towers of the World Trade Center.
There is a major incident in Lower Manhattan.
We just got a report in that there's been some sort of explosion at...
Good evening, and we begin tonight with the monster hurricane and its deadly impact already. And tonight, up and down the East Coast, authorities...
fellas, up next, we got our Stump the CRIG segment. Coach Krieger, not Stump the CRIG, but Pigskin Prognostications. We're going to do Stump the CRIG at the end. Let's go. All right. Pigskin Prognostications, fellas. We're going to start out here with Galax and Riverheads. Who you got?
Riverhead, big.
Yeah, I think Riverheads has probably got a little bit too much. I mean, they're beating people that a couple divisions up. But when is this thing going to end for Riverheads? This is like 6 in a row, 6 years in a row, 5 straight titles.
I've watched film on them several times this year, but man, the key for them is their blocking is so technical. They block things up really well. Their scheme, it's really not. I mean, the running backs and all that stuff is good, but they really block it, you know. And they're technically sound.
All right. I'm going to go with Riverheads as well. I think they've just got too much for Galax, but Galax done a heck of a job of getting there. I just hope the game is closer than it was the last time they met.
No.
We can hope.
I think Galax will hang in there with them for a minute.
Think so?
First half.
I guess so, because in a minute it's going to be 0-0.
Well, I mean, I'm going to say the first half are.
I bet they're up by 3 touchdowns by halftime because it's too short.
You heard that your whole life, haven't you?
Yeah.
All right. Well, next is the big one, boys. This is the one everybody's talking about here. This is Graham and King William. I'm going
with the Mountain 7 killer, baby. The Graham G-Man.
Well, we got to have a score on this one.
I'm going to say 34-20.
34-20.
I think the key for Graham, man, I think they got to tackle well. You know, the running backs will commit to Wake Forest.
I take it back. 34-28.
So
I didn't know that.
As a Claiborne kid,
the key for them is just being physical, being aggressive, and limiting what he does. You know, they said I talked to Coach Palmer earlier in the week, and you know that was his main concern was that guy slowing him down, and they said they just got to tackle well, and said the Blevins kid should be a little bit more healthier than he was this past week. So that'll help, and you know, I think their only loss was to Goochland. I think they lost 13-6 to Goochland, but
Goochland got bumped in the first round of the playoffs.
Yeah, so but I think Graham's offensive line will wear them down. I think Big Meadows and those guys up front will take care of business, and I think Graham's going to come out of here with it. I'm going to say 28-14.
Okay. I've been looking around a little bit. I see, you know, King William, they say the Claiborne kids 70% of their offense. So they throw a lot of bubble screens, bunch of quick hitches and stuff like that. But they do like to throw the ball down the field. They got that Robinson kid that's supposed to be a really good receiver, but they're not going to be able to throw that ball up and just play jump ball against Graham. Graham's going to be there.
He is the brother to the quarterback. Quarterback's a Robinson guy too.
Okay. It's a good 1-2 connection. The thing that caught me was
like they're playing together right now.
Yeah,
the quarterback and the receiver.
Yeah,
I think so.
King Williams, they've scored a lot of points, and they've given up a lot of points, which makes me think that their defense isn't as strong as maybe they ought to. I mean, if you look at their schedule, they haven't beaten no powerhouses. They haven't beaten no Mountain Sevens, I can tell you that. Okay?
There you go.
And so if that's the case, I don't think they can keep up in a track meet with Graham. Now, the Claiborne kid's going to get his yards.
34-20. I'm going back to 34-20.
You know why the G-Men's going to win this?
Why's that?
Because they've already proved they've done beat the Mountain Seven, so they're good to go.
Well, here's one for you. Graham plays on turf. Okay. This bunch plays on grass. The game is going to be on turf. Does that give Graham an advantage?
I don't know. It might make Wake Forest faster.
They could. It could. That's true. From what I gather, he gets that second level, you're in trouble.
But Bradshaw's same way.
Well,
I think Graham's going to be locked in on defense, man. I do. I think
Nate Palmer, baby.
I think Blevins and that crew will be locked in. They'll be ready to roll.
Well, what was your prediction score-wise?
Hold him to a record blow.
30. Mine's 34-20.
Coach Tester, what
35-14. I'm changing mine.
35-14. I'm going 45-20 Graham, and I'll tell you why I think Graham's going to win. I think Blevins is going to be a little bit healthier. He'll be able to help him out on defense. I think Graham's got the turf advantage overall with the speed. And I think that Claiborne kid is used to getting 5, 6, 7 yards a pop. That's going to be reduced to 2 and 3 yards a pop. And I don't think that they can keep up in a track meet with Graham. And so because of that, I'm going to pick Graham 45.
Will Graham kick it to Wake Forest, and will King William kick it to Bradshaw?
No and no.
And I think defensively, Graham's just going to bust them in the mouth. I think they're going to come out and bust them in the mouth.
I think Graham. And I said 45-20. Wouldn't be shocked if it ain't 55-20.
Yep.
And that's just from the.
Hey, we got the athletic director here from Honaker. Do you want to try to put him on the spot?
Well, let's put him on the spot and tell him to give us a score for the Graham game.
Give us the score of the Graham game. Final.
35-28 Graham.
35-28 Graham. That was close to mine.
Oh, it was pretty close. Pretty close. All right.
Trevor Coleman says 35-28 G-Man.
Well, if you aren't going to the game, it's in Salem. Catch it on NFHS. This is a good opportunity to watch a good football game, and hopefully Graham will bring it back to Southwest Virginia.
What's Krieger got going on? Is he in the concession or is he in the hospitality room? All that brown.
Well, I'm in Coach Coleman's office. Then I had to go out. The referees had come in, and then I had to go in the locker room.
Get that brown off your nose.
All right. Well, since we're talking about Coach Krieger here, let's wrap it up one last time here with Stump the CRIG. Coach Krieger, we've got some questions.
I've been thinking about this one all day.
All right. I got some questions over here.
I got the answer to it.
Well, they've been sealed in the mason jar in True Point Bank's vault. And I went and got them earlier, and we're remote, so I know you haven't seen the question. Got two of them for you. Go ahead and
the first answer is easy. The first answer is Dippity-doo.
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 Dippity-doo. Let's take a look and see this. Dippity-doo. What collects on your dippity in the morning?
That's right. Dippity-doo.
Boy, I'll tell you what, this morning your dippity probably had some dew on it because it was pretty cold out there.
We got a 3-hour delay and it's 60 degrees.
Dippity-doo. All right. Well, I've got one more here. Are you ready for it?
I think, I'm not sure about this one, but I think it's going to be Skaliwag.
Scallywag.
I guess.
So I detect a little bit of uncertainty for the first time ever.
But I think I'm still on it because it's still like I'm on a Jackie Chan movie.
All right, here we go. Scallywag is the answer. And the question is, what does your scally do when it is happy? What does your scally do when it is happy? Scallywag. 100%, buddy. Nobody can get you on this.
Oh, man.
Well, will we be back?
We'll break. We might can break some news. If we can break some coaching news, we'll have a special called after the whistle.
Okay, sounds good. That sounds like a good one.
But I ain't gonna say nothing about Coach Tester might end up somewhere. I'll wait and break that news later.
So we've had a pretty good season. episode 13 here. It's been fun. Let's try it again next time around. And if anything new comes up, we'll have a special episode, as Coach Krieger said, maybe in the spring to kind of update everybody on what's going on around Southwest Virginia. Sound good?
Sounds good.
All right. Until next time, I'm Coach Moore.
Coach Tester.
Coach Krieger.
Reminding you, no matter where you go, there you are. Till next time, peace out.
Is that recording?
Yeah, I'm getting ready to turn it off.
Were you at school, Greg?
Yep.